We can't speak for the generations that came after us, but one of the most irrational fears that pretty much the entire millennial generation experienced as children was quicksand. As a kid, much of what you understand about how the world works, unfortunately, just comes from TV and movies. Mm-hmm. And based on the media we consumed, quicksand was to be understood as a potential lethal threat to remain constantly vigilant about avoiding at all times.
Yeah, you could be in an area with no sand, and then all of a sudden you look down and you are ankle deep and sinking fast.
Yeah.
That's how I thought it was supposed to happen.
Better hope there's a long stick nearby.
Yes.
Or buddy, you're in trouble.
Uh-huh.
It looks like sand, but oh no, it's quicksand. Once you've stepped in it, buddy, you're going down.
There's no escaping.
But then, you grow up and decades later, you remember it and you realize that you have never once encountered quicksand.
A lot more dangerous things than that, but never quicksand.
Sounds like the media lied.
Fake news?
What else have they lied about? Donald Trump?
I mean, nothing's going like, well, yeah. The trauma.
COVID?
Well, it wasn't quicksand, but the trauma of that horse getting stuck in Neverending Story.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, we dealt with some pretty traumatic stuff.
That scene was excessive.
Yeah. There was also, I remember like an old-fashioned miner or something like that sinking and having the bubbles come in, just his hat floating up top or something.
Jesus.
There was a lot of, another example, The Brave Little Toaster, a horrific movie. Yeah. But I think, that's what made us tough. This younger generation, they don't have crippling anxiety and, well, they do, but not for the same reasons that I do.
Yeah, totally different reasons.
But then there's always sometimes a happy ending. And the happy ending for all of us real people is that quicksand, not typically an issue.
Yeah.
But it is the year 2024 and things are different.
Things are changing.
It turns out quicksand, it was pretty much just a plot device, a trope. And after first appearing in early cinema, it became a very convenient plot device, especially for underpaid writers of the 80s and 90s kids TV shows that are just trying to pump out as many episodes as possible and honestly just scare the shit out of children.
Yeah, they knew. They were correct. Mm-hmm. Kids can't get enough of this quicksand stuff. It is one of their deepest, darkest fears. So let's put it in episode 5000 of Captain Planet.
Yeah. Now, weirdly, it's been observed in recent years that quicksand as a trope has all but disappeared from movies and TV. So today's youth, they don't grow up with the crippling fear of sand that can eat you alive. But it's probably for the best, because you're just scared for no reason for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but quicksand, it is a real thing. It's pretty rare and not nearly as scary as our cartoons made it out to be, but it is real. And one woman recently, luckily...
learned that the hard way.
Yeah, you watch this video and you're like, it is funny to joke about. I would never fall into a quicksand trap. And then all of a sudden, you are facing your biggest fear.
Yeah, it comes for each of us at some point.
One woman found out very recently, and here's the AP with that story.
A Maine woman enjoying a walk on a popular beach learned that quicksand doesn't just happen in Hollywood movies in jungles or rainforests. Jamie Acord was walking at the water's edge at Popham Beach State Park over the weekend when she sank to her hips in a split second, letting out a stunned scream. She told her husband, "I can't get out! Help!" "I couldn't feel the bottom," she said. "I couldn't find my footing." Within seconds, her husband had pulled her from the sand trap. The sand filled in, and the stunned couple wondered, what just happened? It turns out that quicksand, known as supersaturated sand, is a real thing around the world, even in Maine, far from the jungle locations where Hollywood has used it to add drama by ensnaring actors.
Thankfully, real life is not like in the movies. People who are caught in supersaturated sand remain buoyant. People don't sink in quicksand, allowing them to float and wriggle themselves to safety, said Jim Britt, spokesperson for the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry. People hear the word quicksand and they think jungle movie. The reality with this supersaturated sand is you're not going to go under, he said. That sounds like someone that's trying to trick people into get it. That there's a creature under there, and it has convinced this man to lull people into a sense of security.
Quicksand is safe and very fun.
Yes.
You should play in the quicksand.
This is his own little shop of horrors that he's running over in Maine.
Yeah, literally.
Feed me.
The quicksand, you're actually in the giant mouth of some eldritch creature.
What is it? It's an antlion. They do this. They make a little, it looks like the inside of a volcano, like an opposite volcano.
And they throw sand around to disorient.
And it grabs you and pulls you down.
Yeah, it's like a real life sarlacc.
Well, in this case, climate change played a role in the episode at the state's busiest state park beach, which draws more than 225,000 visitors each year, Britt said. A series of winter storms rerouted a river that pours into the ocean, softening the sand in areas where beachgoers are more apt to walk, necessitating the placement of warning signs by park staff, he said.
Cool. Climate change. Quicksand wasn't real, but thanks to climate change, it's real.
Yeah, fun.
One of many exciting things that our new ever-changing climate has to offer. Quicksand.
Yeah.
At your local beach, coming this summer. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like quicksand won't kill you.
What if you go in face first, though?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that? What if she tripped and fell in face first?
I'm not so
this
sure.
This guy is lulling us into a sense of security.
I think there's definitely situations where it could be lethally dangerous. Sounds like unless you're really, really, really unlucky, you're probably going to be fine, according to big government. But still, like, imagine you're walking on the beach and suddenly you're neck deep in sandy mud. That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
And this is the beach we're talking about. The beach in summertime. There is a decent chance whoever falls into quicksand the next time will be several daiquiris deep. They might not have the coordination and clarity of mind to get themselves out.
I know what I'll do in this situation. I'll reach down and free myself.
Yes.
By pulling my legs up. Yeah. Oh no, now I've just made the situation far, far worse.
Horrifying.
Yeah. Also, like, it's, even if your head is above the sand, sand can compress around you very easily.
Yeah.
And I would assume squeeze a lot of air out of you, much like an anaconda. Something else that we were told to be scared of that I have never come in contact with.
Well, you should go down to South America.
They got snakes there that big?
Yes.
They got snakes down here this big?
They'll just gulp you down.
That actually just happened as well. A woman got her, they opened up a snake and it was an entire woman's body in there. So look, it's all coming true. Everything you've seen in the movies is gonna really happen now.
All of my fears come to life.
Yeah.
So yeah, quicksand. It's a new old fear re-unlocked. Or for like Gen Z, it's simply a new fear because they didn't get all this in the TV and the movies. Their cartoons were about being a good friend and respecting each other's pronouns. Well, guess what? Quicksand is back.
And they don't care what you call yourself.
Yeah.
I will say.
They, them, he, him. You're getting eaten by the sand.
Mm-hmm. I will say. More power to George Miller. There is a quicksand death scene in Furiosa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look awesome. So he's bringing it back into the forefront, and reality is catching up with the movies.
Dune, you could argue that Dune has features quite a bit of quicksand.
Yeah.
Not the typical canonical quicksand, but its own twist on the trope.
Now, if you're looking for some actual danger on a normal beach, you know what you actually have to look, and you can't even really look out for it.
Needles?
No.
Glass?
Idiots who do beach fires and then just cover it up with sand. Because sand is extremely conductive to heat.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
And it lasts a long time.
Yeah, that's how they cook fucking suckling pigs in Polynesia.
That's how they make delicious coffee in like Turkey and stuff. But no,
you can keep a fire going underground at the beach for days.
People just cover their beach fires with sand, and then if you step on that, it will literally give you third-degree burns. It is like stepping in molten glass.
Unless you've trained and can walk on those coals.
It doesn't work like that. But no, that's an actual threat. Yeah. And it's very, very bad. Don't do that if you're fire on the water.
Put your fire out the old-fashioned way.
Pissing on it.
Yep. So yeah, tread lightly out there this summer, whether it's quicksand or hot fire or needles. Or anacondas. You might be going to the beach in South America. Anacondas.
We're going to have a new Trump speech by this weekend where he's like, I'm standing in quicksand, and 10 feet away is a great white shark. I think I'm going down with the quicksand.
Yeah.
Am I right, folks?
The beach is hungry, so
can't go in the water.
Stay safe. Stay safe out there.
Can't go in the water because of the sharks. Can't go on the beach because of the sand. Can't go to the jungles because of the snakes. Can't go to the Strait of Gibraltar because of the orcas.
Guess I'm sitting at my computer.
Can't go to South Korea because of the poop balloons.
Mm-hmm.
What is there left to do?
The world is a dangerous place.
Oh, it's dangerous.
The only thing that's safe anymore is posting.
Yes, you're wherever you're watching this is probably the most safest place to be. That's right. But let's move on to what seems to be a trend, a very local trend. Something, presumably something in our very nasty water, is turning elderly LA area residents into criminals. And not just any type of common criminal. They're doing the types of crimes that you'd normally associate with 12-year-olds. A few weeks back, we talked about how over in the town of Azusa, a decade-long string of slingshot attacks finally came to an end when the culprit was caught and revealed to be an 81-year-old man who was then executed by our local police.
Yes.
Sorry, he dropped dead of natural causes.
Yeah, very conviently.
The next day after being arrested.
He had a cyanide pill in his tooth.
The image of that guy sipping the drink in the courtroom.
R.I.P. to him.
Well, we do have another somewhat similar story.
Mr. President.
Here's CBS News.
Police in Los Angeles seized more than 2,800 boxes of stolen Lego sets from a 71-year-old man's home Wednesday, authorities said. Officers arrested 71-year-old Richard Siegel and his alleged accomplice, 39-year-old Blanca Gudino, after raiding the elderly man's Long Beach home, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. The individual boxes have a retail value ranging from $20 to well over $1,000, police said. Detectives started investigating the case after a retailer in San Pedro identified Gudino as the suspect who had allegedly robbed them several times last December.
There's that old bastard right there. That's him, officer.
No, it's his accomplice, the young woman, or younger woman.
Yeah, it appears the elderly Richard Siegel was the kingpin of what law enforcement are calling an organized crime ring. And while it's easy to understand based on the exorbitant cost of Lego sets these days, it's also the type of criminal niche you'd expect a 12-year-old boy to come up with. And they were exclusively stealing and reselling Legos. Nothing else.
Just Legos.
Was Richard Siegel keeping a few to build for himself?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's spending all day just watching eBay listings.
Yeah.
He's probably killing some time by building a little Death Star.
Yeah, whatever doesn't
building a little
sell.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, whatever doesn't sell, I'll put together myself.
Yeah.
Nice little activity. But we're going to assume that he did build something.
Yeah.
Anyways, it doesn't seem like they've tallied up the exact value of all the Lego sets uncovered in the raid, but it seems like it could be well above $1 million. And that's just what they had on hand at the time.
Yeah.
They sold a lot of it, I'm sure.
They raided them, and just this was what happened to be unsold at the moment. But depending on how long they've kept this racket up, this could be, they're probably pulling in more money than the actual mafia these days.
This is a very old, I remember when I was young, kids my age, college kids would steal from the mall, Lego sets from the mall and sell them on eBay to get like food and rent money.
I mean, honestly, having not bought a Lego set since I was a child, back when I was afraid of quicksand,
yeah,
I am always like stunned when I happen to like pass by one that's on display for sale, and it's like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but like, isn't this shit for kids? And apparently not. Apparently adults now make up like a pretty large portion of the Lego buying
when I was young, it was
populace.
Designer jeans, Lego sets, and those TI 83 or 85 calculators. Those were like the easiest to steal with the most resale value.
The easiest licks.
Yeah, on the market. That's what it was. So there you go. You got to do what you
I guess
need to do to get that great deal down at Chili's after all your hard work.
I guess so. But in other crime news, while we do have to give Joe Biden some credit for reclassifying cannabis, it's definitely not enough. Not even close, really. This shit needs to be legalized federally. And beyond that, just all of our drug laws need to be reworked by actual experts who actually understand how drugs work. As long as these laws are written by cops and legislators with a dare-level understanding of drugs, people are going to be spending time in prison for some absolute bullshit charges. Case in point, some recent news out of Minnesota that is simultaneously infuriating and also utterly baffling. Here's the Minnesota Reformer.
People don't consume bong water, but some prosecutors still use it as evidence to charge drug defendants with more serious crimes than they otherwise would be eligible for. Just ask Jessica Besky. On May 8th, the 43-year-old Fargo resident was pulled over for speeding on Highway 59 in Polk County, Minnesota, according to charging documents. Deputies smelled marijuana and searched the car, where they allege they found a bong, a glass jar containing a crystal substance, and some items of paraphernalia, including pipes. The residue on the paraphernalia tested positive for methamphetamine, as did the water in the bong and the substance in the glass jar. Deputies further reported that the bong water weighed 8 ounces, and somewhat confusingly, that the crystal substance weighed 13.2 grams in total with the packaging.
Besky says the packaging is the glass jar, and that the reason deputies included the jar in the weight is that there wasn't a measurable quantity of substance in it. She maintains she had no drugs on her, only paraphernalia containing residue. That's precisely the sort of offense that lawmakers decriminalized in the 2023 bill. But the Polk County prosecutor has instead charged her with first-degree felony possession, which carries a penalty of up to 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine. It's because of the bong water. For charging purposes under state law, 8 ounces of bong water is considered the same as 8 ounces of pure methamphetamine.
Shut the fuck up.
That's well over the 50-gram threshold necessary to trigger a first-degree felony offense.
I would assume that because of the negative press that hopefully... That's insane.
Yeah.
That is absurd.
Really moving some weight here. What do you mean?
The idea
water,
that
the
they're
bong
like
water.
the glass too, just being like, okay, that is what the tear button is for on a scale. You hit that, it measures like the receptacle, and then you put in whatever's left, and then it shows the difference.
The thing about jars is you can take the lid off and
just pour out whatever it is.
You can give it a good pat on the back, and
if there's not enough there to even register, then I think it's fine. I think based on the law, you're okay.
But I love that, like, you can smoke a single, like, tiny crack rock, but use a bong to do it for your lungs.
Yeah.
And the second you take that rip, your misdemeanor instantly becomes like a serious felony because
the chemical reaction of hitting water and being filtered is
that water is now all fucking drugs.
Yeah. Don't let a cop drink it. They might, just like fentanyl.
Whoa!
Oh God. It's because they're addicted to the trank or whatever the reversal is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you shouldn't smoke meth, obviously. But if you do and you get caught with some paraphernalia, in a state where paraphernalia alone has been decriminalized, even if it contains residue, you shouldn't be prosecuted for criminal activity. Instead, in this case, they're treating bong water that might have trace amounts of meth in it as if it were pure, uncut meth. And using laws meant to punish drug dealers to say that this woman is clearly a drug dealer who was selling lethal amounts of fucking bong water. They went after, they should have gone after Belle Delphine.
Like, let's take this to its logical extreme.
Yeah.
Like, every time you piss and there's drug residue in your piss, like...
You're basically a drug factory.
Yeah, you're a drug factory. And also, every time you flush the toilet and flush your drug piss down, you are actually obstructing justice by stashing your massive cartel-level drug stash.
This is so dumb. Like, they're in search of a fucking crime.
Yeah, no, it's literally, it's just like, even when the laws change, like the people actually enforcing these laws still have their heads very much stuck in the past where they see drugs as a moral failing that can be fixed by putting you behind bars for decades, even though there's all evidence points to that just not being effective at all.
I mean, look, it's obviously ridiculous at face value. We all know that. But it's even more ridiculous when you learn how this law came into place.
Bong water was written into law following a 2009 state Supreme Court case, State versus Peck, in which a divided court ruled that water in a pipe could be considered a drug mixture under the legal definition, and hence could count towards substance weights used to determine offense severity. The justices relied, in part, on the testimony of a Minnesota State Patrol officer who claimed that drug users keep bong water for future use, either drinking it or shooting it in the veins.
Shut up.
3 of the court's 7 justices dissented. Bong water is usually discarded when the smoker is finished with consumption of the smoke, filtered through the bong water, they wrote.
Usually?
A person is not more dangerous or likely to wreak more havoc based on the amount of bong water that person possesses. The 2009 decision garnered national headlines and made the state the butt of countless jokes. The following year, legislators passed a bill exempting bong water quantities of less than 4 ounces from the legal definition of mixture. Despite unanimous support in the state and the votes of all but 2 House members, then Governor Tim Pawlenty vetoed it.
Guys, come on. This is insane. I was just like, usually they throw it out, but you get some weirdos.
Well, they're lawyers, so they're trying to cover all their bases. Like, yeah, there's probably someone has drank bong water before, but we're gonna say,
even when it accidentally has happened, Or it's like you inhale a little too much and you get like a speck of it. You get a little Poseidon's kiss.
I mean, I saw in response to this news, someone posted like a TikTok of a guy cracking like 3 raw eggs into a bong, taking a big rip, and then pouring the eggs down his throat.
The what are they? Is it like a strikeout or something that it used to be called when you do like the shot?
I did a few of those back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know how I survived. One of my friends did one and just like immediately like dropped.
Yeah, because there's no oxygen in their brain. Yeah, we used to do. I think that we've probably smoked weed over the years through every kind of liquid imaginable. We did Mountain Dew bongs when we were
very
young.
exciting.
Yeah.
When you're young.
It doesn't. It actually makes it way worse. What you want to do is just get some nice distilled water, purified water.
Back then, you know, it was a crime. You know, even going to a head shop was like, I don't know. Am I breaking the law? So instead, you fill a bucket with water. You cut
gravity bong.
Cut a 2-liter bottle in half. There was the gravity bong, and then there was like the reverse gravity bong. There was one where you
we're getting fucking demonetized. You're teaching kids
you pull it out of the bucket really slow, and and then there's another one where you like there's like a hole in a bottle, and you let the water fall out, and then it fills the bottle.
Listen, guys, just get an apple. It's a very simple, easy thing.
Just have a gummy. They don't even need to bring smoke into this at this point. It's so much easier now to avoid any of this
and nobody
tomfoolery.
knows.
Yeah.
No smells involved.
We made these mistakes so you don't have to.
Yes. The trail to easy consumption, we crawled through glass.
There is still something just like really makes you connected with the earth and the ecosystem to smoking out of an apple.
Yes, that's why I'm saying. You just go get an apple. It's fine. Then you throw it away when you're done.
Yeah, or you eat it. I don't know.
If you're the guy that does the eggs in the bong
But if you don't do it in Minnesota, because like whatever that apple weighs, buddy, you're moving some serious weight now.
There's a worm in here too, and it's high as hell.
Yeah, animal abuse.
Yep.
You're going to prison for a long time.
Straight to the chair. So this woman is facing, unfortunately, up to 30 years in prison. Because of just an utter failure of the police, the courts, and the government to understand even the most basic facts about drug use. I mean, she's certainly guilty of using illegal drugs, but as a report from Minnesota's own legislature last year concluded, arresting people for drug use does not deter future use, crime recidivism, arrest, or incarceration, and that imprisonment does not impact rates of drug use or arrest. Now, hopefully, as we said, with the attention this story is getting, this woman can get the legal help that she needs, and the powers that be can be shamed out of doing something incredibly pointless and cruel. But then again, this is America. We're not holding our breath. There are people that are still in prison right now for petty drug crimes.
The war on drugs, it's like, yeah, obviously a lot of drugs are bad for society. But the war on drugs it's a failure. It's been a failure.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are we doing? This woman, if she needs anything, she needs fucking counseling. She needs just her material conditions to improve.
Some help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not going to help.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to cost the state a bunch of fucking money.
This
for
is like
what?
Someone drowning in quicksand and you just hit him with a bat instead of throw him a rope.
Yeah. It is like that.
Yeah. America. Jeez.
It's like someone's drowning in quicksand and you throw a fucking anaconda in there with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then the anaconda saves them and now America just looks bad.
Hero anacondas.
That's right.
But moving on to some drug news that's a lot less infuriating. So over in Europe, they just kicked off the 2024 UEFA Football Championship, which is basically a mini World Cup composed entirely of European national teams. Now, for fans of the sport, this means seeing some top-tier soccer. But for residents of Germany, where the matches are all being held, it means dealing with fans from various foreign countries, showing up, getting shit-faced drunk, and wreaking havoc. Now, the English, in particular, the English, they are known internationally as some of the worst examples of this. And Germany has come up with an interesting solution.
No!
No, not like that.
Okay. Not the final solution.
Not a final solution,
Okay.
just an interesting solution. Here's World Soccer Talk.
German police have encouraged England soccer fans to smoke weed during Euro 2024. It was recently reported that local officials were forcing tournament organizers to serve 3 Lions fans beer with lower alcohol content.
Mormon beer.
But beer typically averages around 5% alcohol, but drinks served ahead and during the game will only contain 2.8% alcohol. They put bumpers up. No. The training wheels come on. These fans can also only purchase 2 beers each once inside the stadium. The move came ahead of England's seemingly tense matchup with Serbia on June 16th. Security status for the fixture has been upgraded to high risk, according to a German spokesperson. The select soccer fans from England and Serbia have an unfortunate history of disruptive behavior during big tournaments. Around 40,000 English supporters are expected at the competition in Germany. There's an easy way to fix this. This is on them. The British just did Brexit. Very easy for Germans to be like, the border's closed.
Yeah.
Do you have a European passport? Oh, you don't? You have one from the UK? Oh, I'm so sorry.
That is a good point. Why is England even still in the UEFA? They made it very clear that they are not European.
They don't want to be involved, no.
But by that same token, why the fuck is Israel in the UEFA? Israel fortunately got fucking destroyed by Scotland in the few months back.
I don't know what you're talking about, because on Twitter, I just got blasted with a bunch of pro-Israel ads that say that they won that match, Elliot.
Oh, weird.
They said, don't believe what you've heard.
Yeah.
We won it fair and square.
Continues, while officials are trying to limit bad fan behavior by serving light beer, they are now taking it a step further. Various British reports claim that German authorities are encouraging English fans to smoke weed during the tournament. The move, according to a police spokesperson, will put potentially violent hooligans in a chill mood during matches. It's no problem for fans to smoke cannabis on the street, the spokesperson recently told the British media. If we see a group of people drinking alcohol and looking a bit aggressive and another group smoking cannabis, of course we'll look at the group drinking alcohol. Drinking alcohol can make someone more aggressive, and smoking cannabis puts people in a chill mood. We want to prevent violence and keep people safe. Our focus will be on fans who are drinking and potentially getting violent. That's why we place safety precautions on alcohol. I don't know how that turned Irish. I was going for German.
You went Irish, Scottish,
yeah,
back and forth all over the place.
I don't know what happened. I used to be able to do German. It's gone now. Bye-bye.
Well, we never thought we'd see the day when cops are actively encouraging people to smoke weed, but the Germans are known for being logical. Well, sure, in some scenarios.
Yes, methodical.
Yeah, but look, they just legalized weed too.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, let's give ourselves a worst case scenario here.
I mean, they've been living next to fucking the Netherlands this whole time.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, you go to Amsterdam, you take the train to Amsterdam from Germany, which I did many times.
Yeah.
And it's packed. Train's packed.
Yeah.
So I think it was a long time coming. They're like,
for sure.
Okay, let's stop pretending.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of England, they've got an election coming up in less than a month. And while we've got our hands more than full with our own election, we will never miss an opportunity to talk about our favorite aspect of UK elections.
Something we could adopt here, I think.
I love that this in particular and the Macron thing, everyone, even in their own party, is like, what are you doing? This seems like a bad idea unless you actually intentionally want to get voted out, which might be the case with the current Prime Minister of the UK.
Oh, well, yeah.
Here's Sky News. Rishi Sunak, win or lose, will be sharing a stage with Count Binface when the results in Richmond and North Allerton are read out, likely in the early hours of the 5th of July. Meanwhile, Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer will be alongside Elmo in Holborn and St. Pancras. Sorry to everyone watching from the UK. Both of these satirical candidates, Elmo and Binface, stood against Boris Johnson in 2019 and Theresa May in 2017. But the tradition of joke candidates stretches back even further. Lord Buckethead is another repeat runner. In fact, footage can be found online of him standing against Margaret Thatcher in 1987.
Some of the characters, like Binface and Buckethead, stand to mock the election process and the candidates they're running against. Others, like Elmo, have political points to make. In his case, about the rights of fathers. Another example is Derek Jackson from the Landless Peasants Party, who stood against Gordon Brown in 2010. Journalist Oberon Waugh stood against former Liberal Party leader Jeremy Thorpe for the Dog Lovers Party following the Thorpe scandal, in which a dog died.
Oh.
Huh. And yeah, it is just incredible that not only do these characters get to run for office, the actual serious candidates, they are forced to share a stage with them on election day, which generates some real custom character and a cutscene vibes. You got fucking the Prime Minister standing there with Elmo, Lord Buckethead, Count Binface.
Yeah,
what is going on?
At that point, it's like all the regular candidates are like, what's the matter? You don't have enough V-Bucks to get a cool costume?
Yeah. I do love that, like in America, our candidates, they're back at their HQs on election nights. But in the UK, I think they have to physically be all in the same room while like the votes are counted.
Yeah.
Like you
They're
can
all in
imagine
the party
doing
bus.
that, and you got like Vermin Supreme hanging out next to Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
They're all on the battle bus waiting to drop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the article goes on to explain that they do try to discourage this kind of thing by making candidates pay to run for office. But the fee hasn't been updated in 38 years. It remains at £500, which was probably a lot back then, but it's really not that much today if you're just trying to get your picture taken with the prime minister while dressed like Elmo.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great deal, actually.
Yeah. It looks like the Labor Party is going to... It looks like they're going to walk away with this.
Through no work of their own.
Yeah, no, just the horrifically proven bad policies of the
like
Conservative Party.
15 years of Tory rule, people are finally like,
Yeah, my life is actually a lot worse off, and it's crazy. I feel increasingly isolated from the rest of the world. My money isn't going as far as it was before. Nigel Farage promised that the healthcare system was going to be streets ahead as far as accessibility and everything. But somehow he lied to us. And Brexit was actually a huge negative to the country as a whole.
Well, he's still fairly popular. In fact, I think he has a new party, and like they're siphoning votes from the Tories, and that's one of the big reasons.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
What a mess.
I don't pay too much attention to that island over there.
Yeah. But the funniest part is that they can't fucking travel anymore.
Yeah.
They got to go to the same line that I have to go to if I go to Europe.
They can't go to Mallorca and say just the worst pronunciation of Spanish you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah. This is probably like, I bet a bunch of countries, like, because that's the thing. The EU is just, from what I've heard, would not let them back in if they wanted back in.
No, this was too much of a pain in the ass.
Imagine you're in Paris or Amsterdam or Munich or something, and then all of a sudden, one day, all the stag doos are gone.
Yeah.
Now you only have to worry about when you have a big football match.
A day without a Breton.
It's a wonderful day.
Pretty good day, yeah.
Oh, anyways, this is the part where, as of late, we would start begging you for money.
Please.
But folks, this one's on us. Take a break.
Actually, this one's on Factor.
That's right. They have it covered, and they are this week's sponsor. Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for?
With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this May with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon.
Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes, so no shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/weeklyweirdfifty and use our code weeklyweirdfifty to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code weeklyweirdfifty at factormeals.com/weeklyweirdfifty to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. And now it's time for the weirdest, wildest, craziest
Headlines
from this week from all around the world, but starting in Florida.
Ron DeSantis cut stormwater flooding funding amid Florida deluge. The state is, once again, underwater, and they were like, hey, we should probably put some money into, making the water not do this so often. Make the water go back into the sea.
Yeah, if it's not because of a torrential downpour, it's because of the storm surge brought on by hurricanes.
And he's like, no, I'm going to cut $1 billion in stormwater funding out of this bill.
For context, just so you understand how big this deluge was.
It was like up to here in some places.
Florida was up until last week, well behind their average rainfall. And in 2 days, they went above their yearly total. In 2 days. From going from beneath the average for that point in time. Even my hometown doesn't typically flood, even for hurricane stuff. It has, but even my hometown was underwater. It was crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. And then it just kept going. And speaking of sports that are popular in Britain more than they are over here, unfortunately, they had to cancel a very anticipated and very large cricket match in Miami because the entire field was flooded.
Oh, damn. They should have just played on.
They couldn't. No, they couldn't because the ball. I believe the bowler has to bounce the ball.
It's. I don't think they call it a ball. They call it like a
shed or something.
I think they call it a snitch.
Yeah, that's what it is. And there's no gloves, so they have to catch it with their hands. And if it's all wet and covered in water and stuff, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
So this is all Ron DeSantis' fault. The British are right to be angry at him.
Yeah, they should be.
Mm-hmm. Book about book bans banned by Florida school board. Sure.
It's getting pretty meta now. But yeah, sure. I was worried they would run out of books to ban, but it looks like they're finding new exciting books to ban. So that's very exciting for the half dozen really nosy people in every town who have made this just the focus of their entire lives, whether or not they even have children of their own.
Ron DeSantis should just take it to its ultimate conclusion and turn every bookmobile into a prison transport van.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to say like the Scholastic Book Fair, but it's just going to be transporting people who were arrested for drinking bong water.
Yeah, they should do that. Mm-hmm. And they should just ban all books. No more books.
Except for the Bible.
Yeah, you go down.
But only the one that I like.
You go down to the Bible or go down to the library, it's just all Bibles.
Yeah, oops, all Bibles. That's what they call the library now.
Yeah. Texas library must reinstate books with butts and farts, court says.
Was this the court of humor? They were like, actually, it's funny.
Yeah. It's actually the bit it plays.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. Like even this is all the Texas courts are conservative, and this is a conservative judge just being like, guys, this is like kind of against the First Amendment to just arbitrarily be banning all these books just because you don't like them. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, I guess the big like case in point, it was like a book called like literally books about butts and farts. There was one called like I Need a New Butt. It's just goofy. Kids find that shit hilarious.
Yeah.
But like these insane like Moms for Liberty or whatever, they're just like, this is grooming. They're trying to have sex with our children. No, it's just butts are funny.
What is going on with people's brains?
Something in the water.
Well, chemicals.
Yeah.
Chemical runoff.
It's all that meth in the water.
In Florida, it's the algae blooms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Four Tops singer says hospital put him in straitjacket after not believing he was in Four Tops. So the Four Tops, for you young bloods, they are one of the top Motown acts of the 60s and 70s. Some real bops in there. You go listen to their greatest hits. It's just wall-to-wall bangers. And the most fucked up thing about this is this was a hospital in Michigan. I assumed it would be a hospital like somewhere far away from Michigan, but no. Right in the birthplace of Motown, this man goes to the hospital and he's like, just mentions offhand that he's in the Four Tops while he's having a heart attack. Like in desperate need of medical care. And his the staff, all white people, are just like, well, obviously this guy's crazy, so put him in a fucking straitjacket and we'll deal with the heart attack at some point. Did he start
singing too? And they're like, oh, he's crazy.
I mean, I think he was a little too upset to maybe, I don't know if that would have worked or not. But yeah, it sounds, if this incident went down the way the lawsuit describes it, this is pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like straight out of a bit, like a comedy bit.
Yeah.
You don't understand. I was in the Four Tops. Okay, buddy. Yeah, we were all in the Four Tops.
I mean, even if he was a crazy person, like
treat him with some respect and treat his heart condition.
Like, well, there's not. Even if he was completely insane, all he did was lie about being in a world famous Motown act, and he's having a heart attack. So you should probably focus on that instead of oh God, we need to put this man in a straitjacket and give him antipsychotics.
He's having a heart attack, but more importantly, he's a liar.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
you have been judged. You will now be put in a straitjacket and potentially die. Because
this is like maybe the most absurd example yet of like black people seeking medical care and being like not believed or treated well by hospital staff.
Yeah.
Where
also, like, if you're having a heart attack, putting someone in a even more stressful situation seems like the opposite of what you'd want to do.
It's kind of a miracle this man lived through this.
Yeah. So, only through the power of soul.
But again, the fact that this was in Michigan, that's what really gets me.
Sad.
It used to be Motor City.
That's right. They need to send this whole hospital crew to a musical education class.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really all they've got now. They lost the car companies. Motown is forever.
And Psychopathic Records.
Oh yeah, that too.
And to a lesser extent, Kid Rock.
No, he's
in Nashville now.
He's a Tennessee
rid of
boy.
him.
Yeah, they can claim him.
Hiker finds pipe feeding China's tallest waterfall. Yeah, I saw the video of this, and it's like...
It's a massive waterfall. It's like the Yosemite Falls of China.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, people go there. It's pretty out of the way. And it's like, oh, wow, look at that. Look at that beautiful flow it's got going. And yeah, a hiker discovered that years ago, it sounds like, they just installed a pipe so that like during the dry season, people who show up from far away don't show up and be disappointed. Which, yeah, I get where they're coming from. I definitely went to Yosemite on some dry years when the waterfall is just not turned on, and it sucks. You get there and you're just like,
hey, come on, it's still
you're like, oh well, water would be coming out of that, but it's not. But
I'll never be able to go back again because I went during one of the most lush and flowy years of all time. It was last year after the snow. It was when the snowpack was still melting.
Very rare.
Yeah. So now if I go back, I'll just be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's a beautiful place. But
it is.
Yeah.
Unaware she was pregnant, this Virginia mom gave birth at Taco Bell. A miracle out of nowhere. Miraculous conception. Yeah, the
basically
Taco
the
Bell
Virgin
baby.
Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's at Taco Bell and she's like, oh, I don't feel so good.
That makes sense.
Goes to the bathroom and come back to that and she's like, oh, I still don't feel so good. And eventually a baby popped out. She did not know she was pregnant. It was very rare. She's just like, yeah, it happens sometimes. Like it happens a lot with people who are like really, really overweight, but I don't think that even applies. Like I think this was just like one of those rare things where the baby doesn't trigger like the hormonal response in the woman to indicate that anything is going on.
Maybe too much processed food.
Maybe too much Taco Bell.
They do have that large Cheez-It now. I am curious.
Yeah.
Big Cheez-It.
Why shouldn't I?
And then it cut to 20 minutes later. Oh, that's why I shouldn't.
But yeah, she's in this bathroom for a long time. Eventually, like she's in labor. She's like screaming. And I guess the Taco Bell staff, they're like, oh yeah, just a typical day at Taco Bell. Someone in the bathroom in just extreme pain.
Yep, that too many Crunchwrap Supremes.
That will happen.
Uh-huh. Shohei Ohtani's ex-interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara, banned from delivering for Uber Eats. I think it's fine. He'll be in jail for a while. So
I read this and I was like, oh, did he start? That's what he started doing after he got fired by the Dodgers? And no, he's been an Uber Eats driver for like 3 years on the side.
Just in downtime during off season?
I guess.
Weird. I mean, maybe he was just trying to chip away at that gambling.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, I owe so much money, but if I do enough Uber Eats deliveries, like, I'll be able to pay it off, and Shohei will never know.
Couple of deliveries and one hell of a parlay, and I'm back on top, baby! Woo! Yeah.
And like, as soon as he delivers someone's food, he gets right back in the car, and he's like, all right, I got a couple more bets I need to put down.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fuck! God damn it, Will.
I'm the worst gambler ever.
Nothing a couple more deliveries can't fix.
That was I feel like I brought it up on here, but another baseball guy got kicked out of the league for gambling. And just like Mizuhara, his win percentage was like 3%.
Yeah.
Just failed every bet.
God. Yeah, it's the worst addiction. Ray J ponders whether sex tape with Kim Kardashian altered the course of humanity. I mean, he raises some interesting points.
Sure, I don't think it has that big of an effect on our reality, but sure, yeah.
I mean, it made Kim Kardashian famous.
Yeah, but how much did that affect the world as a whole?
Definitely has some ripple effects.
Uh-huh.
The biggest one I'd say is he's like, yeah, maybe we wouldn't have OnlyFans. And I'm like, that is actually kind of a fair point. Because like porn used to be like something you'd only do if you were a porn star. And the sex tape era introduced the idea that, maybe there was some crossover potential. Anyone can have sex on camera, and there's a lot of money in it.
Sure.
So, but now he's got his Raycons.
Yeah.
Raycon.
Don't even say it. They don't sponsor us anymore. No free ads. No free ads anymore. RPG devs can't add dating system because team lacks real-life experience.
Oh, God. We would love to add a dating system to our game, but no one who works on this game has ever actually dated a woman And we feel like, it would be disappointing for the players based off that lack of real world experience. Have a great
Well, how
day.
would the players know?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Also, like, I honestly never played a dating simulator.
No, we played Sexy Boyfriend Sim or whatever.
Yeah, that's not real though. I've
Daddy
played,
dating simulator.
I've only played like parody dating simulators,
Yeah.
but I feel like the real thing probably also isn't very true to life. I feel like it's probably just fantasy.
What was that one that everyone was playing for a while where it was like a video?
Doki High School?
No. It was like like real videos, like a choose your own thing, and it would play like, it was like an old It was newish, but it was kind of like one of those old 90s games where we play video files based on your
Party,
choice.
I think.
Maybe that was it, yeah.
Yeah, I got banned from... Yeah, that was just a porn game.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Anyways, I hope those devs can one day get some real life experience. Yeah. That'd be nice for them. Anyways, that's it for this week's episode of Weekly Weird News. Please click the like button. Please leave a comment. If you're not subscribed, we are getting so close.
Subscribe.
So
please.
Close. Elliot is going to shave his head if you subscribe.
What? Can you imagine what that would look like?
Yeah. And if for some reason you haven't seen it already, boom, popping right up there. We got...
Can't believe in our 25 minutes talking about hot dogs, we didn't make a single Linda Yaccarino reference.
Hot dog.
Real missed opportunity.
We just, if you want to watch just nonsense about hot dogs.
Some real wiener news.
Yeah, check out that video. And we also have our highlights of all the Apple event stuff from this week. Check both of those out, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.